Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. Now we're back for the second part of my Q&A answers segment videos leading up to The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 6, Consumed. Okay, so with the amount of questions I get on a weekly basis, and because I'm used to doing the Q&As, I want to at least get probably around 30 questions done. If I can even get close to there, that's cool, and maybe I can do 30 a week each week after each episode in different Q&A videos. That way, if you guys are asking questions, enough people are getting answers. I can't answer everybody unless I did maybe a 2-hour straight through type thing and went through every question in the inbox. But then even that wouldn't include all the comments and everything like that. So I do as many as I can, and I appreciate you guys sending them through. And after episode 6 airs, of course, send me whatever Q&As you have there. I can turn them into videos. I can make them video suggestions for the week, and I can release daily videos for The Walking Dead, like I've been doing since the start of Season 5. So, spoiler warning as always. Please be caught up on The Walking Dead. If you're not, I may ruin some things for you. Also, possible spoilers if we talk about some things that are coming up. So, without further ado, since this is part 2, let's just get right into it. First question comes from 47 Raw, and he or she asks, Trev, you should do weekly episode prediction, but instead of what you think is going to happen, do what you would like to see happen. So after every episode, do a review, prediction, top 5 moments, and what you would like to see in next week's episode. That's a good one, man, because I have done that before, like what I want to see for a whole season or a finale or mid-season finale. I've done stuff like that. I've never thought of doing it on a weekly basis for each episode. So if that's something you guys want to see, write it in the comments below. Let me know what you think if you want to see that. I mean, I think I cover pretty much everything already. Don't you guys think? I mean, I do the review, which is more detailed and informative, I feel like, and faster in terms of time efficiency than anyone else's on YouTube when it comes to The Walking Dead. At least I believe that to be true. Certainly my channel is the most comprehensive, having reviews of every episode of the series since the very beginning, and every episode of the comic series as well as the most discussion topic videos you're going to find in the channel on YouTube. Then after the review, of course, we do predictions for every episode. I count down my top 5 favorite moments from the episode, which not for every single one, but I do that for the episodes I really like because I think it makes sense that we talk about some of the best parts. And then I can consider doing what I'd like to see. Maybe I'll do that for the mid-season finale. I'll try that. And let me know what you guys think about that. Good idea. I do listen to your guys' suggestions. So write in the comments below what you think about that. If you think there's value in me doing that, or if you think, no, you know what, you already cover enough things, Trev, that's fine. Write it below as well. I like to hear from you guys one way or another because I'm here to have fun with you. So if you're not enjoying it, then I should stop doing it, really. Next one is from Mike D. And he says, will Carol tell Daryl about Lizzie and Mica? I mean, maybe in this, if she's going to tell him, it's going to be in Consumed. It's going to be episode 6. It's going to be coming up that we should see that confession, or her let him know what happened, and him kind of, be like, oh, shit. That's terrible. And we might see that. If we don't see it this week, I don't think we'll see it again. However, it may change who Carol is as a character, right? I mean, that occurrence, you don't just come back from something like that, especially since both of them had a fairly close resemblance. I don't want to say like exactly, but they resemble to a degree her own daughter. They have similarities. The hair color is very similar. The age is around the same. So they were kind of like her replacement kids. Even if she didn't really want that to be the situation, they were. And, I think it's going to be a part of her character now. So, assuming she doesn't get killed off this half season, I think we will hear her at least tell somebody. I don't know if it's going to be Daryl. It would make sense to be Daryl because they have kind of a closer relationship, which we've seen a little bit of. But we haven't seen that much of in the Walking Dead thus far. However, we may see that next week. I guess we'll have to see what happens. So that should be fun. Or this week, episode 6, that is. So, I don't really know if we're going to see that or not, but I think we should see something. That's a lot of baggage, like Tyrese has been talking about a little bit with Rick. It killed me. At least he's saying that. Carol hasn't really told anybody much of anything, really, when you think about it. Not really. I mean, compared to what she had to do and everything. Maybe she just block it out as a result result of protecting her conscious mind, create some kind of splinter personality or something. Trauma like that can cause dissociative identity disorder, commonly known in movies as multiple personality disorder. Trauma to that degree can actually splinter the personality in the brain. The mind will actually split and create a new personality to protect the original mind from the trauma. That's how much trauma there is. Yeah, pretty interesting, right? Yeah, so people that go through intense trauma can often develop like separate personalities that can come out that deal with that kind of trauma and kind of repress it, in the mind, so they don't even really remember unless something triggers that memory, and then boom, it opens up. So anyway, I guess we'll see how far psychologically they want to go with Carol, but they could go pretty far when like just the stuff I've just talked about, right? Her not knowing what she's doing, just having some kind of chaos going on in her subconscious mind where she doesn't even know what she's doing because she's gone through so much trauma with having to, lose her whole family, lose her daughter, real daughter, and then having to do what she had to do with those two. So brutal, man, or at least what happened with what she had to do with one and what happened to the other. Just brutal stuff. Next one is from Gareth Finlay. Gareth. Then he says, "Hi, Trev. Love the videos. It's awesome what you do." Not always. Love the videos. It's awesome what you do. Okay, do you think Glen and Maggie are going to go back to the main group with Rick now that they know that Eugene was lying, or do you think they will stay with Abraham? Well, and then he continues. Also, do you think Abraham could go off on a rampage knowing the mission he was on was actually pointless? Hope you answer them and keep up the great work. I think they're all going to still stick together, even though I think Abraham's going to want to kill Eugene. Rosita's probably not going to want to leave. She's probably going to want to stay around with the group. And I think that they figure after Terminus, their best chances of survival will probably be together around this group. If they leave and go off on their own, they run into another group like Terminus, and there's only 2 or 3 of them, and one of them's Eugene. Notice, Rosita can defend herself, but Eugene, come on, like, what's he gonna, what are you gonna do? Water, a fire truck water hose won't work on survivors, right? Or at least not very well. Maybe a little bit. It's probably got a pretty good force, actually. It won't do well against bullets, let's just say that. I think the whole group's going to go back to Rick's group now, and they're all going to become one. They're all going to join and be one big, happy, dysfunctional family, even though Abraham and Rick may struggle for leadership sometimes. So I'm hoping to see some stuff like that. I guess we'll see what happens. Next one's from Charlie Felton. He says, "Hey, Trev, you're my favorite YouTuber." Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And he says, "How do you think The Walking Dead will end?" Well, Charlie, I'm telling you, man, I've done a couple videos on this one. Use the search tool in the channel, brother. Use the search. You come up with a topic, I bet you I've probably done something similar at some point in time, because I've done we're getting close to 2,000 videos now between all my channels. So go to the channel, on the homepage, use the hourglass tool, type in Walking Dead End, and there's a video I have literally called How Will the Walking Dead End, where I go into tons of detail about it. It's very long, and it's good. I think it turned out pretty good. So I don't usually watch my own videos. Sometimes I do here and there because, well, I like to think they're pretty good. And I like listening to the sound of myself talk. You have to if you talk as much as I do. It's just ridiculous. Sometimes I even get vocal burn, like I can't talk because I talk so much. So how do I think The Walking Dead will end? Just watch the video, man. There's just too many details for me to answer. Just watch that video. Search in the channel. Type it in. Even if you search it in YouTube, my video will probably be the one that shows up near the top anyway. So just look for my channel name, and you'll find it. It's right there for you. So if you guys want to know how I think The Walking Dead is going to end eventually, it's in the channel. Check it out. Why not? There's lots of fun stuff in the channel. You can check out from older videos to, character spotlights and, maybe some of your favorite characters and all kinds of stuff we've talked about over the years. How the zombie apocalypse started and some videos I made 2 or 3 years ago, when I was first getting started and stuff. So check them out, guys, if you're interested. Thanks, Charlie. Next one's from Matt Foster, and he says, "Hey, Trev, are you a sports fan? Do you watch any American sports besides things like MMA? Just wondering. I think you have skills to do reviews of football games or just predict things because The Walking Dead sports are extremely Hard to predict. Just a thought, Matt Foster. Okay, let me explain something. My channel, when I first started off, I used to do MMA videos, mixed martial arts, because I used to love mixed martial arts. Nowadays, not so much. UFC doesn't allow people to really have mixed martial arts channels. They'll strike your channel. They'll say you're copywriting, and even if you're not really, even for thumbnails and stuff, they'll say, oh, that's copyright or whatever, even if it's a picture of a fighter not in the thing. So I stay away from sports. There's channels that stick to sports, but I stay away from it because of the fact that, some networks and stuff, they will screw your channel over, and you can't have a long-term MMA channel if you're doing a lot of videos and keep it up and running. It will get shut down. The UFC will shut you down. They don't want people doing it. They got a lot of money, and YouTube will take their side, and they'll shut you down. So I stopped doing it, right? But I used to do predictions for who would win fights and, for betting and stuff like that. I don't bet, but people who watch would, and sometimes I bet a little bit, not much. But yeah, that's kind of where I came up with the ideas to do predictions for The Walking Dead. That's something I started doing way back in season 2. And even like leading up to season 2 was, giving my thoughts and predicting what I think is going to happen next in the show, because it's so unpredictable and fun to kind of guess who's going to die and what's going to happen. And something I've been doing ever since. I really like it. But in terms of other sports, so by the way, anybody else you see on YouTube who's doing predictions for The Walking Dead, I was the first one to do it. So are they copying? Well, I came up with that idea on my own, and then they, other people took it, which is fine. I don't care. If people want to do predictions, that's fine. You can you could do prediction videos on anything, but I'm just saying that I was like the first one who started doing that. Now there's lots of channels that do it. So just for that, just putting that out there that that's the case. With regards to other sports, I don't have a lot of time. If I had more time, I might do something like that, because I do like playing sports. I like exercising and working out. You guys have seen some of the stuff I've done with working out. So I've done some workout videos in the past before and stuff, way a long time ago. And I do really like sports, but I don't get into it too much because, there's only so much I can do, and The Walking Dead takes priority. I love the series so much. Game of Thrones, other shows like that, I can pick them up quickly, I can put them down, I can make videos on them quickly. They're just perfect for what I'm looking for. Other sports like football and that, pretty cool, but they're pretty dense. Like, you can get lost in just like some guys who love football, the amount of knowledge they actually have. For me, if I'm going to review something, I want to have a lot of knowledge about it, or at least a good amount. And with football, you need to know like all the players, you need to know everybody. If you're going to do reviews for it, you should know like everything. So for me, it just doesn't make sense because I'm not that into it. You really have to love it, and I just like it. There's a difference between it. If you like it, are you really going to be able to make a channel like the one I've made here for The Walking Dead as a fan channel? You kind of have to love it. You really have to love it. If you don't love it, then you're not going to get the gumption to do it. You really have to. So it's something I've thought about, but I'll probably never do, get back into sports a lot. Definitely not MMA, just because of the UFC and just what they do. It's not nice what they do, and I've heard stuff like them suing kids and stuff for showing their events on Justin TV, like kids that have nothing, like kids in high school that are streaming their events and people are tuning in to watch it. I know it's pirating, but does the UFC really need to sue kids in high school and stuff? They have no money. You know what I mean? What are they going to do? Declare bankruptcy? Like, they have nothing, and you're going to sue a big company like that's going to sue them. It's just stupid. So I don't really support the UFC anymore and a lot of things they do. So anyway, those are my thoughts on it. And no other sports really. Next one's from Smooth Racing, and he says, do you think the Walker herd from last episode could come into the next few episodes? Do you think another small group will stumble across the herd, or could they attack the church or hospital? Well, I think we're going to see a herd pretty soon. I think we're going to see another huge amount of zombies around the hospital. I don't think it's going to be that one. It seemed to me those ones that were stuck in there were either stuck because of the fence that went around it, or they were just maybe they could get out, but they just were too mindless to find a way out, and they kept, getting like bounced around inside, this section, right? And not finding themselves a way out. So if we do see them again, I think it makes sense that we might see them again, but it'd probably be as the group just passes through for some reason. I would think that because Abraham knows they're there, they'd probably avoid that spot because there's so many, they would go around it if they had to, just like the others suggested. Next one is also from Smooth Racing, and he says, hey, Trev, question for Q&A. Now Eugene's secret is out. What do you think Eugene offers to the story? Is he the highest up next on the list to die for predictions, he's asking? Or are people like Sasha or Father Gabriel more likely? I would say Sasha and Father Gabriel, not Father Gabriel because he's so new, right? Sasha, I would say, is more likely than Eugene, yeah. Eugene is a character where he's funny, okay? He's so unique. He's like the only smart character we have had since like Milton, maybe, or Dr. Geez, what was it? Dr. Jenner? Is that his name? Wow, man. I'm like drawing a blank for some reason sometimes with older stuff. It's been so long, since season 1. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Jenner. And then, of course, we got this new Dr. Edwards, but he's a really unique type of character, I think, that, if they follow the comic book series in the future, he'll become very valuable anyway, because maybe not actually as a scientist, but he is very intelligent in terms of mechanics and in terms of mechanical creations and stuff. We saw him with the battery, just starting a fire and stuff like that. He's not great physically, but mentally he's always going, so he can think of some interesting strategies and things like that to come up with. He's a smart guy that has confidence in his intelligence, doesn't have any kind of physical ability, and is using his intelligence to survive. I think that's interesting. So I think he's relatively safe. Next one's from Velshin. Velshin says, I wanted to ask you, did you consider doing a video discussion topic about which scientist is the smartest in the Walking Dead TV series? Now I remember why I had this question. We were just talking about it. That's funny. Like Milton versus Jenner versus Eugene. Who's the smartest in the series? Wow, that's tough. Because even the term smart, like people, a lot of times they view it as binary. Either you're smart or you're not. You're either, you're really intelligent or you're not. You're dumb or you're average or whatever in terms of intelligence. But I believe in multiple intelligences. I do, multiple intelligences. If you want to consider any of them in terms of bodily kinesthetic, none of them, except, I don't know, Jenner might have been fairly athletic, we don't know, but definitely Milton and Eugene were useless in terms of bodily kinesthetic intelligence. If you look at the different types of intelligences, it makes a lot of sense that you would break down intelligence not just in one category, but in many different categories with multiple intelligences and view where someone's at. Like with me, for example, my intelligence type would be, when it comes to computers, technology, would be like genius, like career, that type of level, right? When it comes to, math and things like that, same type thing. But if it comes to something else like art, okay, here's a good example. Art class, I almost failed in high school. So, and I have to work really hard at creativity with the channel to, become good at that. So I view everybody as having, multiple intelligences, and no one is going to be, great at absolutely all of them. I mean, some of your most gifted people might be great in one area. So when it comes to just practical intelligence for The Walking Dead, I think Eugene is probably the smartest. Milton was, he seemed to be really into the psychology of it and kind of understanding the walkers and that. I think Eugene's on another level, though. Eugene's got a cunning in him, to see Abraham for what Abraham was, and to manipulate him in that capacity was, that's something else. I mean, it's kind of evil too, right? In a way, it's not a good thing to do. But if you're Eugene, you're really stuck in a zombie apocalypse and you're looking to survive, a lie like that would make sense. So I think Eugene's very crafty in terms of his cunning. He's very cunning. Jenner might be the smartest of them all, because Jenner is so smart, he just said, you know what, screw this noise. I'm done, man. I have a concept, I have an idea of what this zombie apocalypse is going to be like, and I do not like my chances. I'm going to opt out. So I see that hey, man, no pain, nothing. I don't blame you, man. It's a zombie apocalypse. You want to opt out? Hey, I don't view him as stupid for wanting to opt out, seeing what we've seen, and really not having much reason anyway. So Jenner might be the smartest, and then Eugene, and then Milton overall. But like I said, there's multiple. You can break it down further. And some people, depending on your view of what Jenner did, might view him as the dumbest. But for me, I'd say probably the smartest, because he understood that he probably was going to get eaten alive, and he was probably right. I mean, the fact that Eugene's still alive is amazing, kind of. It's just because of Abraham and his cunning. But even that was close because the people of Terminus almost had them, right? So, like who's smarter when you view Eugene when he was there and they got lucky enough to get out, or Jenner who just decided, you know what, I don't want to get chainsawed up and eaten by some cannibals. I don't want these things to happen to me. So too bad. Okay, we'll do one more and then I'll wrap it up because we're going on a little long here. I just want to get through most people's questions and do them justice. Next one is, I'm not sure from who. From the UK, Patrick. Patrick from the UK. And Patrick says, hey Trev, this is a Q&A. This is a Q&A question. How long would it take to actually get to Washington from Georgia? Okay, so I looked it up. I Googled it. 9.5 hours, regular driving time, according to Google. And Google is law. Google is law. I'm Google biased. I love Google. So 9.5 hours drive in real world. Okay. Without much traffic. I don't think Google allots for a lot of traffic or slowdowns or construction or things like that. So let's say about 10 or 11 hours with traffic, let's say. Okay, that would be like freeway driving, that type of thing. In zombie apocalypse time, 11 hours by car drive, in zombie apocalypse time would be forever. I mean, I'm talking weeks, I would say, to get there, realistically, right? Because it's a couple years in the zombie apocalypse. You guys know my time frame. Even though, yes, I know they've said it's not that long, but based on the clothes, based on what I've seen, I say it's a couple years into the zombie apocalypse. There's just stuff everywhere. There's debris all over the place. There's cars stacked up on the highway all over. There's zombies all over the place. The cities are super dangerous. Trying to pass through them one at a time, it'd just be like one challenge after another, having to go around things and trying to find food on your way, trying to find vehicles, and all the cars' batteries are dead now because they've lost a charge. Like a lot of cars, if you don't drive them for 2 or 3 weeks, the battery's dead, or a month, the battery's dead. You want to talk 2 years? Even if it's like a brand new car, if the battery's been used, I don't know if most of them, I'm not a mechanic, but I don't think most of them would still fire after that amount of time, unless it's like a shelf battery that's never been used or like a brand new car or something. It would just be an absolute nightmare trying to get from one place like that to another where there's cities in between and stuff like that. Oh man, you probably want to avoid all the cities and go around all the scenic routes, even though it takes a really long time. If you're lucky and there's not too much backup and chaos and zombies and groups, that's the thing, other groups like the termites and those people, as you're looking for food on the way, I would say zombie apocalypse time, 10 hours in real life, zombie apocalypse time, let's multiply that by 10 because it'd take 10 times as long due to all the slowdown zombies and everything like that. If you even survive, and you're going to lose people too, I think, in real life if you were to do that. You would at least lose probably maybe half your crew or maybe less, depending. If you were taking your time, though, you wouldn't lose so many. But if you're trying to do it as fast as possible, I'd say a couple weeks minimum in a zombie apocalypse because of all those things. Other groups stealing from you, maybe even trying to kill you, trying to eat you, you passing by, trying to find things, and all the chaos and not being able to find a good ride for very long, not being able to get gas, or having a hard time finding gas and finding these things in water. And it'd just be an absolute, especially in Georgia because it gets like so hot during the summer and that, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I think about that one. So that's question number 18. So I'm going to try to do maybe one more part and then I'll be done for this week for Q&As. So let me know what you guys think about all those different questions. Let me know which scientist you think is the smartest and how long you think it would take to get from Georgia to Washington, D.C. in a zombie apocalypse if it's 10 hours in real life. Maybe I'm overstepping it. Do you think maybe a group could do it faster than 2 weeks or maybe even a month or two? I don't know. It's a tough one to call. Use your imagination a bit. Use that creativity we were talking about earlier that nobody uses really in the real world, which is sad because, most of the beauty in life is about creativity and emotion, right? So anyway, it's not a good thing that we don't use enough. We're too much like robots, cogs in a wheel in a system, machines. And, the more creative, the better, because that's what life's all about, really. That's the human aspect. Anyway, so if you guys like the video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it. Please favorite it. And that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for part 3. I'm going to get it done. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying